Hey everyone, this is Kasim again, here at Black Power Rise. I'm excited, I'm always excited, but I was gonna wait, in a way, I was gonna wait to share this with you guys, but I'm excited because we're headed into the new year, and I didn't know when I was gonna share it with you guys, but I'm gonna share it with you now. You know, a couple of weeks ago, I had finished reading my Bible for the second time in my life. That's the whole entire thing. But when I started my studies, it was the New Testament. I was up to the New Testament. So this time, I'm going to be studying the Old Testament as well as the New Testament. And you know something, when I started going to church on my own, I was in my late teens and headed into adulthood. And my mother never questioned me. She just would see me get up, dress up, and I go to St. Anthony's on my own, or I may surprise my grandmother. And then after she passed, sometimes I would go surprise my grandfather at the church that they was in, because they were deacons. And, when I would go to church, and as I got older, sometimes I would go to a friend's church or some of these other churches. Even my friend Kevin, I remember going to his church, and it was an African church, so I didn't understand their language. But sometimes I would ask other pastors questions about the Bible, and they would just give quotes and stuff, or scriptures, I should say, about it, but not explaining it. And I remember in 2012, my boy, God bless him, Uncle Shoppy, shout out to you, happy holidays. He said to me, that new Bible is changed, the words are changed. You got to read from the King James and down. And I actually tried that. I started reading the King James back then in 2012. And then before my grandmother had passed, she had gave me about 5 or 6 Bibles to give out, and it was for me and my friends. So that Bible, which is right here, this one here, I was always reading. But like I said, Shoppy had seen me reading it and told me you got to read from the King James down. And I tried that, but in a lot of these books you can't find. But anyway, I'm used to ask questions to pastors and they couldn't answer them. And it used to kind of frustrate me. And then I used to talk to my boy Kali and ask him questions, and we have Bible discussions. I remember one time we was out in front of our building having Bible discussions, and next thing you know, a stranger stops us, and next thing you know, he jumps in the conversation. That's nothing but God right there. So anyway, my point is, a lot of these churches are not teaching. A lot of them are entertaining. Like I told Kali one time, and he pointed out to me, and I had to really think about it. But I had said to him, you can't get mad because people are praising God. Jehovah, he wants that. But at the same time, how many of them really know him? How many of them study the word that's in the Bible? So I'm going to do my best here to help you all watching with this. And I'm going to start with Genesis. From Genesis 1 through 12, it talks about how God created the world and how he created the earth, this beautiful earth. And I even wrote some notes down. So I'm going to read to y'all and see. Let me know what you think in the comments and stuff. And I also got to thank, before I get started, for you those who hit that like and subscribe button here at Black Power Rise, because what I am here to do is lift people's spirits up. And this is all another part of success, y'all. So listen to this now. In Genesis 1 through 12, as I said, it's about how God created the world, and it was a paradise. Then God made Adam and Eve to rule over all creation of the earth. God let him name all animals and creatures of the earth. He saw that Adam was alone. You know how some people do get lonely? And because God saw that Adam was alone, he saw these animals that God had created. They started multiplying. So eventually, God put Adam into a deep sleep, for those that do know, and he took part of his rib. And that's how Eve was created. So now, as I said, Eve was created, and that was Adam's first wife and his only wife. And they were both told they could eat off of every tree except the one in the middle, which was the tree of knowledge. They were doing great, living in a paradise. I mean, a true paradise, people. They were going to be immortal. They were supposed to be a reflection of God. At least Adam definitely was. But until they both had eaten off the tree of knowledge, that's when sin entered the world. The one called Satan, Satan used to roam the earth, go back and forth from earth to heaven. See, that's certain things that they don't talk about or don't want you to know. This is stuff you have to find out on your own. So in Genesis 3 through 7, the serpent called Satan had his eyes on them for a while, especially Eve. That's why he targeted her, and he told her she wouldn't die. You see, people, a lot of people lie. And that's how sin entered this earth. Because Satan is the father of lies. That's things that you're going to find out. Yes, some may know, but let me continue. He wanted to be like God. That's why he was casted out of heaven in the first place. He lied to Adam and Eve, telling them that they could be just like Jehovah. God was hurt and disappointed. It's like you disappointing your own mother or father, but mostly your father, because God is our father. So look at it like that, people. And running. That's exactly what Adam and Eve did. They both knew the rules. So this is what I'm saying. There was over 73,000 trees. But that one tree, they ate. And God told them they were not supposed to eat that. And for those that don't know, this is how sin entered the world. As I call it, this is chaos. But again, God was disappointed. He was hurt. It's like you disappointing your loved one or your father. And that's something you don't want to do. But let me continue. They were so curious about the tree of knowledge, and that's why we are all born with sin. So when people say, why does God hate us? I hear that so often. If not hate us, those that don't believe or their faith isn't strong, if they just read and study, you will understand. God doesn't hate you. He loves us very much. He loved Adam and Eve still, but it was a price to pay. Basically, consequences. So when they were pushed out the garden, he told them, First, he started with Eve. This is why women go through pain during pregnancy and when they're giving birth. This is why man must work, because Adam was forced to eat the vegetation food off the ground. Again, I'm just trying to help you guys understand, because you know that American Bible that's most people may have, that's for our understanding, because some don't understand the King James. We wasn't speaking that language, or the one that's beyond the King James. We was not speaking that language. So again, let me continue. Then Adam named his wife Eve. Jehovah also expelled them from the garden because he didn't want them to eat the tree of life. Eve gave birth to Cain. In Genesis 6, chapter 1 and 2. That's when Cain was born. And then Abel. Cain became sad. He became dejected as well as jealous of Abel. Why? Because God accepted it was a gift, but God had accepted it, and he didn't accept it from Cain because he could feel how his heart was towards his brother. Again, this all started because they ate the fruit. Not apple, but fruit. If you all read your Bibles, it says fruit. So in Genesis 4:6, God asked him why and advised him to turn into good because sin was coming his way. Basically, that's what God was warning him about. Sin wants to... Oh, man. Sorry, people. I had to take a moment right quick. But sin wanted to conquer Cain. And that's exactly what happened. And Cain, again, God warned him because, you know, in life, like, let me say this. Mostly everything that's in the Bible, people done went through, or you can relate to your own life. Because God gave him that warning. And basically, he was giving Cain a choice. And he made that choice by killing his brother, Abel. And I'm going to get to that right now. Cain committed murder. In Genesis 4:11, Cain is cursed and banishment. Jehovah let him know, even when he cultivates the ground, meaning take care of the garden, it will not give back its produce. So in Genesis 4:4, God warned Cain, as I just said, y'all. He warned him because he gives us a choice. Cain realized what he had done, which was kill his brother, and it cost him dearly. It ruined his relationship with Jehovah. Why? Because he could no longer see Jehovah. Wow, do you guys realize what we as humans lost? But this is what we were born into, sin. Again, all because of that fruit. Not only was he banished, but he could no longer see Jehovah. Cain was hurt from that. Most importantly, he was scared for his life. But God is a father. God is our father, people. And he's such a loving God. He told Cain in Genesis 4:15, anyone who kills you will suffer vengeance 7 times. So although God was disappointed and hurt, Cain was punished, he was still showed he's a loving God. by protecting Cain. But again, it starts with his parents, Adam and Eve. God's first pronouncement of enforcement for disobeying him was to Adam and Eve and the serpent Satan. After Cain resided in the land of Eden, Cain and his wife had a child named Enoch, which later Cain built a city. So I'm going to stop there, but I want you all to know, when it comes to success, it's like a building. You have to put God first, though. And again, I'll say it again. Once you pray about it, you don't have to worry about it. And as I said in the beginning, you know, when I was going to these churches, it was for me because, you know, I wanted that spiritual connection with God. But I didn't know how to get it. And as I said, I would ask questions. I even went to one of my actresses' churches. That's when I kind of started understanding, as well as the Bible also. My mentor, Mr. Dalton, he had gave me the Black American Bible, and I had started understanding the words more and more. So, as I said, you know, I was reading the Black American Standard Version, and I was getting more and more excited. And one day I remember going to Barnes & Noble, you know, and I wound up buying the book. And it made me understand the Bible even more. And so when I was going to churches, and my church that I was going to at St. Anthony's, I was even understanding the word a little more. And at the same time, the only thing, I always kept it to myself. You know, only my friends like Kali and some of my other ones, I would discuss it, or we would have discussions with. Shout out to my boy Horse, Dave, Vlad, you know, because most of the time, a lot of brothers and sisters, they didn't want to talk about that, or it would lead to arguing. And that's not what I was about. And then, you know, not anything against people's religion, but they would try and prove who's right and stuff instead of the facts. That's why I love it at Bible study and stuff. And at the same time, I'm sharing the facts with you guys, but I'll get to that. So when you get the chance, please hit that like and subscribe button, and leave your comments also. And I have a description for my website at Black Power Creations and Bella Creations, as well as Black Power Production and Black Power Publishing. And come 2024, when a stage play says Mother Love, says prayer changes things, I can't wait till you guys see that, for those that do come to see the stage play. And for those that have seen my stage play before, you already know. All right, this is Kasim. This is your boy Showtime. I'm out.